Warning, food may be hazardous to your health. The packaged food you buy. The coffee that wakes you up. The sweeteners you use. The water you drink. The meat and fish you eat. Warning, food may be hazardous to your health. This is 10-year-old Medea McPike. In February 1985, Medea died after eating food treated with preservatives called sulfites. 1 month later, Medea's parents testified before a congressional committee investigating the use of sulfites in food.
Because we are parents, we are torn, shocked, and angry. This should not have happened. It should never happen again. Medea had predicted her own condition, crying, "Hurry, Mommy and Daddy, please," and telling us that it was the meal she had just eaten that was causing this. "The guacamole is making me sick," she cried.
What are sulfites? Sulfites are preservatives used to keep fresh foods from spoiling, to extend the shelf life of packaged foods, and to prevent bacteria from growing in wine. Although to die from sulfites is rare, and sulfites are not considered a hazard to most people, for up to 1 million asthmatics, sulfites can pose a serious threat. Daniel Savant, 33, died in 1985 after drinking imported white wine. That same year, a meal including hash brown potatoes proved fatal to Ann Weltman, age 35. Judith Grant, 44, died in 1985 after eating pizza and salad with a glass of wine. So something had to be done. In 1986, the Food and Drug Administration responded with a partial ban that stopped the use of sulfites on fresh fruits and vegetables, the foods they were most widely used on. But for many, this ruling did not go far enough. It did not ban the use of sulfites on fresh potatoes used to make French fries and hash browns in many restaurants. And the ban didn't stop the use of sulfites on some dried cod and some fresh and processed shrimp, crab, and scallops. In spite of the ban, sulfites in varying amounts are still used in many foods. Sulfites are added to practically all wine and wine coolers. And sulfites are used in many packaged foods, processed vegetables, processed fruits, baked goods, pre-mixed rice and noodle products, salad dressings, and wine vinegars. All these foods contain sulfites. So if you're concerned, what can you do? By law, packaged foods that contain sulfites must list them on the label, so you can avoid the products. Just look for one of these 6 chemical names on the list of ingredients. Sodium sulfite, sodium bisulfite, potassium bisulfite, sodium metabisulfite, potassium metabisulfite, and sulfur dioxide. But in restaurants, foods can't be labeled, and they may contain sulfites if they came from bottles, cans, or packages like these. So to avoid sulfites, watch out for mushrooms from a can, prepared salad dressings, wine vinegars, olives, potato products, horseradish, relishes, shredded coconut, pudding, and gelatins. From the consumer's point of view, there are still many products that contain sulfites. The FDA is considering extending the ban to include other foods. But for many asthmatics, the risks haven't been eliminated. And for some, the results can be deadly.
Medea had predicted her own condition, crying, "Hurry, Mommy and Daddy, please," and telling us that it was the meal she had just eaten that was causing this. This should not have happened. It should never happen again.
This is a heart in trouble.
Cholesterol and fats have built up over time and are clogging the arteries, bringing blood to the heart.
The result can be a heart attack. But there are things you can do to help prevent this.
Here are some important questions and answers that can help your heart.
Question number 1. Is it true or false that certain cooking oils can help lower your cholesterol levels?
The answer is true. When used as part of a low-fat diet, certain cooking oils can actually help lower cholesterol levels in most people. Those oils are corn, sunflower, safflower, soybean, peanut, and olive oils.
Question number 2. How much saturated fat, the kind that clogs your arteries, is in a typical fast food meal of a 4-ounce hamburger, French fries, and a milkshake? 1 tablespoon of fat, 5 tablespoons of fat, or 15 tablespoons of fat?
The answer is 15 tablespoons of fat. It's no wonder that almost 1 out of every 3 youngsters in America has cholesterol levels that are high for their age.
Question number 3. Is it true or false that foods made only with vegetable oil are always better for you?
The answer is false. Some foods that contain only vegetable oil may use palm or coconut oils. These 2 oils are highly saturated and can actually raise blood cholesterol levels. That's why products like Coffee Mate and Cremora, both of which may contain coconut or palm oil, should not be used if you're trying to lower your cholesterol levels.
Question number 4. Is it true or false that eating all kinds of fish, even shellfish, can be good for your heart?
The answer is true. All fish contain oils that appear to protect against heart attack. Even shellfish contain these oils in small amounts. The best source of these beneficial oils is deep-sea cold water fish, such as tuna, mackerel, and salmon.
Question number 5. Since fish is good for you, is it true or false that fish oil supplements have also been shown to be good for you?
The answer is false. Little is known about the good or bad effects of fish oil supplements. The advice of most experts is eat fish instead.
Your heart will thank you.
It's an American tradition. A lot of people can't start their day without it. It's coffee. Many people can drink several cups of regular coffee a day without ill effects. But for a number of others, too much caffeine in coffee causes coffee nerves.
I feel like I'm taking amphetamines if I drink more than, sometimes even 1 cup will do it.
Caffeine can cause jitters and restless nights.
You're on edge. You can't close your eyes.
Caffeine can cause heart palpitations.
Sort of speeds everything up, makes me move too fast.
So if you're a coffee drinker, what can you do? Many people have cut back on the amount of coffee they drink. But did you know that the amount of caffeine you get doesn't only depend on the number of cups you drink?
It also depends on how the coffee is prepared.
One way to cut back on caffeine is to choose the type of coffee with the least caffeine. That's instant coffee. There are 50 to 65 milligrams of caffeine in a 5-ounce cup of instant coffee. That's as low as you can get in regular coffee. Next best is percolated coffee. There are 85 to 110 milligrams of caffeine in a 5-ounce cup. Least desirable is drip coffee. This brew raises the caffeine content to between 115 and 150 milligrams a cup. So where reducing caffeine is concerned, the best coffee is instant, then percolated, and worst, drip. If you can't give up your cup of coffee, you might want to change the way you prepare it. Americans love their coffee, but their coffee doesn't always love them.
People love sweets. In fact, we love them so much, each of us consumes an average 130 pounds of sugar in a variety of forms each year. While Americans like their sweets, they'd like to keep in shape too. But how? Enter artificial sweeteners. First, there was an artificial sweetener called saccharin, but it left a bitter aftertaste. Then there was a better answer, cyclamates, the first artificial sweetener with no bitter aftertaste. In the 1960s, cyclamates helped turn diet foods and drinks into a major industry. But in 1969, cyclamates were banned. They had been found to cause cancer in test animals. In 1977, saccharin 2 was found to cause cancer in test animals, and the FDA proposed that it be banned as well. But the public demanded an artificial sweetener, so saccharin remained on the market, its most widely known brand name, Sweet and Low. Then another artificial sweetener was introduced, aspartame, its brand name, NutraSweet. The FDA approved aspartame's use, and NutraSweet has become the dominant artificial sweetener of the 80s. Today, about 8 million pounds of NutraSweet are sold and consumed annually in more than 100 products, including sodas, powdered drinks, cereals, chewing gums, gelatins, fruits, and puddings. Given the questionable history of other artificial sweeteners, how safe is aspartame? The FDA does consider aspartame to be generally safe. However, in the past 6 years, thousands of consumers have complained of symptoms they associate with their use of aspartame. These symptoms have ranged from headaches, hives, and nausea to menstrual disorders, mood changes, and seizures. While there is still much to be learned about aspartame's side effects, the FDA has calculated a safe, allowable daily intake of aspartame of about 22 milligrams per pound of body weight.
That means, for example, that a 130-pound woman would have to drink more than 14 cans of diet soda a day to exceed the FDA's allowable daily limit. That's a lot of soda. But a 30-pound child would exceed the FDA limit drinking just 4 cans of diet soda a day. Until further research is done, to avoid unnecessary risks, some experts suggest that pregnant women and young children should not consume large quantities of products containing aspartame. So remember, just because it's sweet and low calorie doesn't necessarily mean it's the one for you and your family.
Which type of orange juice has the most vitamin C? A glass of freshly squeezed, juice made from frozen concentrate, juice from a carton, or juice from a can. Surprisingly, they all have about the same amount of vitamin C. An 8-ounce glass of any of these juices will give you the full day's requirement of vitamin C.
Did you know that frequent dieting may actually make you gain weight? According to recent studies, frequent dieting may trigger a starvation response in your body, so you end up storing calories rather than burning them up.
Did you know that foods you think of as health foods or natural foods may not be any better for you than the old standbys? So don't be misled. A typical serving of Quaker 100% natural cereal or Sun Country granola contains 5 times the fat and twice the sugar found in an equivalent serving of Nabisco shredded wheat or Kellogg's Special K.
Did you know that the nutritional value of white sugar, brown sugar, raw sugar, turbinado sugar, and honey is basically the same? Most brown sugar is simply white sugar with molasses poured over it. So-called raw and turbinado are semi-processed sugars. Honey is just a mixture of sugars and water. When it comes to different sugars, your body doesn't know the difference. A sweet is a sweet is a sweet.
Did you know that there is a chemical used to decaffeinate some coffees that is of questionable safety? And did you know that traces of this chemical, methylene chloride, may show up in these coffees? Methylene chloride is the same chemical solvent used in many paint removers and some aerosol sprays. Methylene chloride has been found to cause cancer in test animals. Should you be worried about the safety of coffees decaffeinated with methylene chloride? No, according to the FDA. It says that any traces of methylene chloride are so minute, they pose no health risk.
Even though that substance might produce cancer in experimental animals, it should not be banned because the upward bound possibility of you or I having an additional cancer in our lifetime is less than 1 in a million. That's a very low risk.
But even a low risk for methylene chloride in decaf is too much for the Public Citizen Litigation Group.
The law is very clear. It says that a food additive shall not be allowed in food if it is found to cause cancer in either animals or humans. And in this case, it has been found to cause cancer in animals, and therefore, under that provision of the law, it must be removed from the market.
So while the debate continues, if you're concerned about the use of methylene chloride, you may want to know which brands of coffee use the chemical. They include A&P, Brim, Brown Gold, Bustelo, Chock full of Nuts, Martinsons, Maxwell House, Medaglia d'Oro, and Savarin. All these brands shown use methylene chloride. On the other hand, Nescafe, Sanka, and Taster's Choice use only water and coffee bean oils in their decaffeinating process. And there are at least 2 brands, including Folgers and High Point, that use a natural chemical generally considered safe. So whatever position in the methylene chloride controversy you side with, remember that as a consumer, you do have a choice. Industrial wastes poison 2 municipal wells, the water suspected of causing stillbirths and childhood leukemia. A pesticide pollutes a county's underground drinking water. Contamination expected to last 50 to 100 years. Water with high levels of lead found in some Washington, D.C. homes. Pregnant women advised not to drink tap water until it is tested. Most water is safe most of the time. But in communities across the country, sewage, metals, and chemicals have found their way into water supplies. If water is contaminated, drinking it can pose a serious health risk. But contaminated water can pose risks even without drinking it. Did you know that in some cases, inhaling steam from polluted water can be as risky as drinking the water directly? It's possible to inhale some chemicals through water vapor in the laundry, or from steaming water in the shower. And some chemicals can enter the skin when taking a bath. In hotel rooms and other public buildings, the water in some cooling and heating systems can become contaminated with the bacteria that causes Legionnaire's disease. When it comes to inhaling or absorbing water, there's not much that can be done. But there are a few things you can do to improve the safety of the drinking water in your own home. The first step, if you're concerned about your water, is to have it tested. To find out who to contact for a water test, call your local Department of Health or Environmental Protection Office, or contact the water supplier listed on your water bill. One of the most common contaminants found in water today is lead, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. In fact, the EPA estimates that 1 out of every 5 Americans, or as many as 42 million people, have lead levels in their water that exceed its new proposed safety standards. Too much lead in the environment can pose a real threat to our children. Even low levels of lead can affect their developing nervous systems. The lead that finds its way into tap water usually comes from the lead and lead-soldered pipes common in many homes. Lead levels are highest in water that has been sitting in these pipes for several hours. If you know you have a lead problem, you should flush out the water in the pipes before using it for drinking or cooking. By running the water until it's as cold as it's going to get, you will significantly lower the lead levels. And be careful never to use hot tap water for cooking, drinking, or making baby formula, since lead tends to dissolve more easily in hot water. What else can be done about lead? There are also some home water filters that can remove lead from water. namely distillers and reverse osmosis systems. These systems can remove bacteria as well, but they're expensive and their effectiveness varies. What if your problem is not lead or bacteria, but is organic chemicals? To remove chemicals, you might consider an activated carbon filter. Some filters attach simply to the faucet. Others need to be installed under the sink and attached to the cold water line. So remember, you can improve your drinking water by first diagnosing the problem and then selecting the right type of filter. But by and large, for water to be safe for all uses, it has to be treated at the source. All across the country, there's water everywhere, but it's not always safe to drink.
Did you know that caffeine can be a problem not just for adults, but for children as well? For a 5-year-old child, just 1 can of caffeinated soda delivers the same dose of caffeine that an adult would get from 1 to 2 cups of strong coffee.
Did you know that about 25% of all brands of bottled water sold are just treated tap water? Take this Great Bear, for instance. It's made from the municipal water of Teterboro, New Jersey. And did you know that in a random test of 93 different bottled waters in New York State, almost half of the waters tested contained traces of organic chemicals? While these traces pose no known health risk, industrial solvents and petroleum derivatives are not exactly what one has in mind when buying bottled water.
Do you know which one of these soft drinks has the most caffeine? 7-Up, Coca-Cola, Mountain Dew, Pepsi-Cola, or Sprite? Well, 7-Up and Sprite have no caffeine at all. They're not even in the running. Believe it or not, it's Mountain Dew that has more caffeine than Coke or Pepsi. So to cut out the soda with the most caffeine, stay clear of good old Mountain Dew.
Everything does look so nice.
Something is going to happen to the Spruce family. Something completely unexpected. They're all going to come down with food poisoning. And the Spruce family is not alone. The number of cases of food poisoning has tripled in the last 30 years. It's estimated that each year about 2 million people get food poisoning, and of those, 2,000 die from it. One of the foods in this typical family dinner contains salmonella bacteria, which causes food poisoning.
It's good.
But which food is the culprit? Could it be the stuffing? Was the roaster chicken guilty? Could the vegetable be contaminated? Or the salad? To find out which food has the salmonella bacteria, let's go back to when the meal was prepared. Was the chicken contaminated? In fact, this beautiful roaster was contaminated. It's not surprising, since 1 out of every 3 birds you buy is likely to contain salmonella bacteria. Raw meat and fish are often contaminated as well. But if a contaminated chicken is thoroughly cooked through to the center, all the bacteria will be killed by the heat. So eating this well-cooked chicken did not give the Spruce family food poisoning. What about the stuffing? When the stuffing was put into the chicken, the stuffing also became contaminated. But since the stuffing was packed loosely and cooked thoroughly, the heat penetrated it and killed the salmonella. So it was not the stuffing that caused the food poisoning. Could it have been the salad? Even though the salad was cut with the same knife as the chicken and was prepared on the same cutting board and with the same hands that handled the chicken, it didn't pass on enough salmonella to the salad to cause food poisoning. But salmonella thrives on protein and carbohydrates such as eggs, bread, or cheese. So when a cheese dressing was added, the small amount of salmonella in the salad had something to grow and thrive on. So the culprit is the salad with its dressing. And the accessories are the contaminated knife, the contaminated cutting board, and the contaminated hands. Then what should the spruces and the rest of us do to reduce the risk of food poisoning? 1. Assume every piece of raw poultry, meat, or fish you buy is contaminated and rinse it thoroughly. 2. After handling raw meats, wash your hands, knife, and cutting board in hot soapy water before handling other foods. And 3. Make sure all meats and stuffings are completely and thoroughly cooked.
Really, you never change.
These simple precautions can help the Spruces and your family cut down the risk of food poisoning and let you have a wonderful family get-together. To your health.